Uh, wait, who the hell is Kai Asakura?
I'm glad you asked. Kai Asakura is a Japanese MMA fighter making his UFC debut for a UFC championship against the flyweight title holder Alexander Pantoja. Why though? Listen, alright, I couldn't come up with a better intro than that. Look at the Ryzen ring girl. Now let's get to business. Kai Asakura is making his UFC debut in a title challenge because he is an exciting action fighter coming from the Japanese organization Ryzen. He is a multiple time Ryzen 135-pound champion. As per usual, when the UFC acquires talent, they fit that talent where they need it. He's going to be cutting down to 125 pounds to fight Pantoja for the belt. The other reason that he's getting this title shot is because the UFC's flyweight division does not have a clear title challenger. They do not have a clear number one contender. Just recently at UFC Edmonton, Brendan Morono reestablished himself as still being the top of this UFC flyweight division, which is a bit of a problem when he's already lost to Pantoja twice. This leaves the UFC without a lot of options outside of, doing another Brandon Morono trilogy, which we all love, but eventually we're going to get sick of it. Enter Kai Asakura. To get a better feel for what Kai Asakura is about, what he does when he's fighting, and how he might look against Pantoja, we're going to look at the last three fights on his record and fights against notable international talent such as Koji Horiguchi and Manel Kape, which should light up here as red markers on this guy's record. He does also have a win over Manel Kape and Koji Horiguchi, so he is trading wins and losses with some of the other talent that's out there in this division. Let's start with that loss against Hiromasa Ogibuto. This loss to Yuki is actually a rematch. In the first fight, Kai knocked him out, and in impressive fashion. But this second fight, not only is it the third most recent fight that Kai has had, it's also really telling, I think, with how this fight with Pantoja is likely to go. A big strategy that Yuki used throughout this fight was just boxing into takedowns, and specifically boxing into single legs. He has success with it, and we're going to insert the clip right here. Watch this. Bang, bang, bang. Gets the back. Slam takedown. Kai has very spotty takedown defense. I've been watching tape. The guy leans on the ropes a whole big bunch. I'm going to insert this picture right here. I'm not going to tell you that the ring versus the cage is going to make an enormous difference, but he's not going to be able to defend takedowns like you're seeing right here. And this was a big portion of how Yuki was able to extend this fight, get the decision. Also, throughout this fight, Yuki is using pretty effective ground and pound to really slow down Kai. Now, we know Pantoja likes to wrestle. We know Pantoja likes to punch into his wrestling combinations. And the other thing you have to remember is leaning up against the ropes the way that Kai does might translate to being held up against the cage and controlled for long stretches of this fight. Now it's time to get to the good stuff. Why did they sign Kai Asakura? Why is he getting a title shot? The fact of the matter is, the guy is a knockout artist. His last two wins, which let's have a look, bang, bang, are by timing a knee as his opponent is coming in. He is an incredibly effective power puncher, and when his opponent lays off the pressure, he is very dangerous going forward. He loves to punch in combinations. He loves to mix in the knees. He has head kicks as well. When the guy is going forward, he's dangerous, and when he's moving backwards, he's dangerous. In the scrambles as well, he is very quick to get to his feet and immediately start throwing. The guy is wild, and I would go so far as to say reckless, but he is accurate while being reckless. And that's pretty exciting. Now, there are two last things that I want to mention here before we wrap up this review of who Kai Asakura is. The first thing that I want to mention is that he did trade wins and losses with Manel Kape, who's a current UFC flyweight. He got knocked out by Manel. He also traded wins and losses with Corey Horiguchi, who has been an outstanding talent on the regional scene for a long time. He was knocked out by Corey Horiguchi. This leads me to the second thing that I want to say here, and my final point. I think Pantoja is going to be able to handle Kai Asakura. I think the UFC is just bored. They don't know what to do with flyweight, and so they are going to inject the proverbial Michael Chandler without giving him a test first. I think he's getting pushed a little bit too fast. I would have liked to see him have a fight against a top 5 guy, right? The same way they did Michael Chandler. That way you're not just bringing in this talent from Japan and immediately squashing him. And I got to be honest, I think that's what's going to happen when these guys face off. When are they fighting? December 7th. Ooh, watch out. It's not going to be a good day to be Japanese then. But anyways, thanks for joining me for my breakdown. We'll see you next time. Fuck off.